Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to day 11 of our Hook and Haul Cabover on Call series. Thank you all so much for all the support. Huge shout out to the community. We are now at 499 subscribers, y'all. Just one away from 500. That is mind blowing. Thank you all so much. I really cannot thank y'all enough. We'll get going here in just a moment, y'all. Give everyone a moment to get the notification. We're going to be headed from Brownsville, Texas up to Lufkin, following this wrecker. What's going on, DJ? Good to see you. 98,276 pounds, y'all. Goodness.
Ready to turn right.
Sorry, our YouTube pop-out chat disappeared on me. What's going on, partner?
Turn right.
Not a lot yourself.
Just hanging out, just hanging out. Internet's finally back up.
Good deal.
Yeah, man, I jinxed myself. I was like, yeah, I might be able to, you know, finesse a half day tomorrow. We'll see. Sure did.
Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, it was weird at first because I was like, I know I paid the bill. And then I checked the outage and there was no, you know, alert yet, but it just took them a little bit. And then my girlfriend sent over the screenshot about it and I was like, oh, there it is. But all is well now. And hey, I'd rather it happen, you know, before than during the stream. That bummed me out. That'd be no good, Joe.
Oh, definitely.
Where are you driving out of today?
Well, I had spent a good chunk of the day getting tanker and stuff already. So I had just ran a short tanker mission to do to unlock a city that I hadn't unlocked yet, obviously. And so now I just switched over to the wrecker. I'm down in Albuquerque currently. I haven't grabbed a job or nothing.
Right, I got you. Yeah, no, we were talking about doing the tanker, but then by the time my internet came back up, I was like, man, I don't want to have to redo the whole tanker. Do the truck, because I still wanted to do the, you know, black and yellow theme for the truck today. So I was like, after doing that, I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with the wrecker. I was like, that'll be easiest. Because as you know, if I was going to go do that whole trailer, then I got to find a paint job for it. I got to do the rims and everything else. I was like, yeah, we'll just wait. But my girlfriend's want me to watch the ending of the show with her, so at some point tonight I'll go do that and then possibly transition to tanker then.
Copy that. Yeah, my wife, she's heading to bed here, so I'll play for a while tonight, probably 10, 10:30, 11, and then tomorrow I work till 3, then we're going to watch the old Happy Gilmore and then watch the new one since it comes out tomorrow.
Oh, awesome, man. That is awesome. I didn't even realize it was coming out tomorrow.
Yes, sir, on Netflix.
That is awesome. Definitely gonna watch
I
that.
was so stoked when I found out they were coming out with the new one.
Yeah, I remember you the one that told me about the thing coming out. I didn't even know it was. You're like, yeah, I saw the trailer, whatever it was, you told me. And then after that I looked it up, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be good. It should be. I mean, most Adam Sandler's are, I think, but
Yeah, I didn't...
it's only been 30 years.
Only, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's gonna be hard to tell the difference, you know. They've barely aged from the time that they've done the first one to the second one, so you know, it's gonna be hard telling them apart. But I know the trained eye, such as our lovely community, they'll be able to tell the difference. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And then I saw, I don't know if it's this December, y'all, but the new Avatar movie's coming out. You know, what is it? Fire and Ash, whatever it is, Ash and Fire.
There's one I've never ever seen before.
I think we talked about this before one time. It was either this or another movie, but yeah, I watched the first one when I was real young. This movie and Nemo, y'all, are two movies that really make me kind of feel my age a lot, just because I remember when I finished watching Finding Nemo in theaters, y'all, and I remember it said, like, you know, Finding Dory, whatever it was, or, you know, the sequel would be years and years and years away, and I remember doing the math, and I was like, goodness, that's forever, I'm gonna be X years old. And then it came, and I was like, oh. And then the same thing with the Avatar, because, you know, waiting from the first movie to the second one, man, that was a trip. And then now the third one's just around the corner. I was kind of blown away. I didn't expect them to be coming out with this one so soon. I do remember that they said, you know, the third one wouldn't take as long, but I got so used to waiting so long with the second one, I didn't anticipate it.
I never expected, never even thought to wait for. Here they are.
Right, exactly. That is exactly what's been happening to me. But yeah, we got all the yellow, man. I got the yellow heater dashboard here, or at least the yellow lights on there. Which, man, I love it. I wish it popped a little more on the camera, just because it is probably my favorite, and the blue was my favorite, but this yellow lighting on the dash really lights up really, really nice, even a little better than the blue, I'd say. And then the yellow lighting on the wheel is actually coming in a lot clearer than it used to. It used to just be kind of like almost like a white light, like a warm light.
Well, let me get your stream up. I didn't get it up yet. Just a second.
Shame on you. I'm just kidding. Maybe he'll load it up and see. It'll be a trip, y'all. I was giving you a hard time. I don't think you got it, but I was like, shame on you, but I was just messing with you. I don't care.
Go straight up. That's right.
Got this Range Rover trying to cause me, give me more work. Just pulled right in front of me while I'm doing 50. Goodness. These folks out here, yo.
Shame on you, and that's why I hurried to answer back.
I was just telling the community when you dipped out when I said that, I was like, maybe he'll get the stream pulled up just in time to hear that. Because I know you're pretty quick with getting it up, so I figured there was a good chance you'd catch it, given that little delay, you know, in between the live stream, what we're doing, and it going onto the stream itself. But no, I'm just happy you're playing, man. And yeah, I was gonna get the screenshots of the load order that we got, but obviously with my internet going out, that kind of took that off the table for me. So I was like, well, I'll just do that later, then do it tonight. I was going to last night, but again, my girlfriend wanted me to watch that show with her, so I had to dip on out.
I hear you.
But yeah, man, that engine you were telling about, the NT855, man, that Jake brake on that thing is mean. I watched the video on it. I've watched a couple, but
Go straight up.
after you brought it up again, I was like, let me go check it out again. And so I went and threw my headphones on, and immediately that's why I pointed out the Jake brake. I was like, I may like that Jake brake more than the engine and exhaust sound, but that's not to fully hate on the engine and exhaust sound. I was just saying, usually it's the latter for me, and you know that. Usually it's like, oh, I love the engine sound, but the Jake's a little, you know, But in that case, it's kind of reversed, but it does have an awesome sound inside the truck. But again, like we were talking about, just a little bit more of that mechanical. And I got you here in just a minute. Adam, we just gotta get going, brother, and I'll turn on that Jake brake for you. But yeah, especially outside of the cab too, that thing sounds super mean.
Oh yeah, I was listening to a bunch of them earlier, and I heard that one, and I like the engine a lot, and then I heard that Jake, and I was like, oh yes, that is perfect. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that sold it for me, honestly. But too, on the 346E, that one's pretty nice too, especially outside in the cab as well. Now I can say Slab Jerry seems to be a little, and again, that's, I've got to walk on eggshells here just because I haven't played it in game myself, so with my settings it may be different. And I have noticed that I usually do have my engine and exhaust sounds and all that stuff a little louder than some people do, but that's just preference. I like my engine to really come through. But Slab Jerry's 346E, that thing sounds pretty mean. I don't know if you've tried it out since we added it, but that one's got a pretty mean sound, and I'm interested to see how ZEEMODS compares to it. I wish they'd make another 6-in ZEEMOD, man. Just so we have the ZEEMOD audio framework, you know, on top of it.
For sure. And the ZEEMODS one was the only one I listened to. I hadn't heard the Slab Jerry one yet.
Yeah, we got it in the game, so if you want to try it out at some point, feel free, man. Because I went ahead and added it to our mod list. Just came out not too long ago. They discontinued the old sounding one.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Makes it very nice because they actually put discontinued on the Steam Workshop, so you don't have to guess if you're downloading, you know, the current one or the old one.
That's helpful. I wish more would do that. So, quick question for you. I don't remember having problems, but it's been a while since I ran record. But I got a 360-gallon tank on it, but it says I'm full when I fill up to 225.
I've noticed that my fuel tank is not as deep as the other ones. Even when you add, you know, when you try and add a bigger tank on there, it's limited.
Go straight up. That's right.
Okay, so it's not some other mod issue for me. That's good to know.
No, but I was wondering if that real life fuel prices or this particular economy mod that we're running is messing with the way the fuel is consumed in the game, because I could swear, man, that it's running through it quicker. Like even on my 389 I noticed that.
Possible.
And I know there's a setting in game that you can change to make it to where, oh, hold up, there's a train. I know that there's a setting that you can turn on to make the fuel consumption more realistic as well. But I feel like I do that enough with as heavy as I am on this pedal. And I did drop the C16 down to 800. May go down even further, just kind of seeing how it is. But I mean, even with the record, we're pulling about 100,000, you know, all together. So need a little something there. But I just thought I'd bring it down from the 1,000 because that thing just gets up and goes, man. Like, unless I'm hauling like the special transport or the super heavy stuff or going through Alaska or Mexico, it really does get a little OP at times.
Oh, absolutely it does.
because I can get up to speed on the interstate before I'm off the ramp, and that's with, you know, hauling a full trailer too. So that's why I wanted to turn it down a little bit, just because even when I'm not heavy on the throttle, because like, man, I'm not even halfway right now and it still gets up and goes at 800, you know. But 625 is a really good one too, because it kind of gives you a good balance. Now the takeoff can feel a lot slower, and when you're in convoys, always just try and run the same horsepower as everybody else is running, just to make it easier. Because if you got somebody running 600, somebody running 8, somebody running 1,000, you know, people are gonna be all over the place, just even leaving the light together. And we'd hear that, I don't know if you remember, but in left lane, people are like, man, what are you running? You know, they'd be like, you're gone, man. And they're like, oh, I'll slow down for you. And which we know in convoys, if you get too separated, you'll start to get that stutter. So that's why I always try to just kind of sync it all up.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things that didn't so much bother me about the Cummins is the lower horsepower, because it would be nice to have something, you know, low horsepower that sounds good too.
That N14 Pittsburgh power, though, even down to 800, man, that thing will fool you, because it is a little, it's, we'll just say, a little less tame on the lower end, getting up to speed. But man, once you're there, it'll get moving. You know, once you get up into those higher gears. It just sneaks up on you, I feel like, just because with the, when I was running the 1050 with the C15 and the 1000 with the C16, like, you're very aware that you're getting up to speed at a pretty good rate. But on the N14, it may just be from being used to how quick you get up to speed, but you kind of get used to that kind of slow up to the speed limit, and then after that, if you're not paying attention, you can start going well over it. Right.
You match that up with the good engine, and you got a good truck alone right there.
Yeah, some people will drop them down to the 2s and stuff, you know, their ratio, they could go well over 100, but I find a sweet spot in the 3.16, 325 area, and that gets me a little over 100 miles an hour, you know, if I really want to, with my 18 speed. Because I am a stickler for my 18 speed, I just love them. But I have seen other videos where people are doing like 126, and it's like, alright brother, even I don't need to do all that. You know. For each truck too. Right, that's another thing I was going to add when you were talking about messing with the transmissions and everything, even the engines alone too, with also the jake brake. For example, the N14, it will, when you're shifting down, like the C16, the C15, the jakes activate in every gear. But for example, right now we're in 6 low. For just this example, we'll go into 5 high, right? And then maybe it goes and it doesn't activate the jake. So sometimes you got to double click it and stuff like that. So you find all those like little, we'll just call them quirks or whatever. But also like when you're shifting, depending on what engine you're using, you know, after a certain time of using that engine and the transmission, you kind of know what speed you'll be at, when you'll be shifting, all that cool stuff. And like you said, it changes with each truck. Didn't mean to click that, Joe.
I guess I never had to do the, Jake. That's interesting.
It's only done it with the N14 for me so far. But it is cool. It makes it like the turbo spooling up really high.
Turn right.
That's cool.
Go straight up.
Sorry, yo, my girlfriend came home. I didn't know it was her. Yeah, my headphones just sound like somebody was banging on the door or something.
I'll be right back. I gotta run my dog out.
10-4.
Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right.
That's a cool spot over there. We got cattle over here too. Love to see it. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Really do appreciate y'all. You're just joining us. We started in Brownsville, Texas, headed to Lufkin. Hope I'm saying that right. Lufkin, whatever. However you say it.
Go straight up. That's right.
10-4.
Did I miss anything?
Nope, we're just getting close here to our drop off.
Right on, I'm getting close to my pickup.
Hey, there you go.
That's Ruda.
Let's see the outside of the Virtual Express.
I didn't do the custom thing just because in the Cabover it is changing my dash to the wood, and I'm trying to keep that yellow, you know, painted dash on there for now. So just got it back to the yellow and green.
Makes sense. Looks good.
You got all the green put back on there. I'm happy with it. I wish they had yellow though. I know they got other yellow ones I could put on there, but as far as Rudas, you know, I really like the way the lights look on the truck.
For sure. That sucks that you can't use that skin because that does that to your dash with that skin because the different paint jobs on the 362 are kind of nice to kind of break them up a little bit. It just seems like there's so few paint, you know, skins for them out there.
Yeah, for mine though, it only had one option to paint that record, you know, for the record skin. It only gave me one option. Now the 389, it gave me a couple options for that because it had like the 379, the 389, that whole deal. But with the 362, it just gave me one option for that one. Now I still got all the other John Ruda ones and all that stuff, but I'll definitely look around and see if I can find anything in specific, you know, for the Cabover record. That'd be awesome.
That would be just to kind of get away from the stock. It's such a flat-faced truck. I think a paint job could really set it off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool custom ones. I just wish that I could change the color of the ones, you know, with the different patterns and decals and all that stuff. Because if I could do that, then I'd be set. I wouldn't even care about looking for other skins. But because I have so many limited, you know, especially yellow and blue and green, etc. Because this is the brightest yellow one that you can get unless you paint it yourself, you know. But then you don't have the decal. You just kind of got a base build there. Which I'm not, you know, I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just saying that is one thing that would make it a little better for me if I could choose each color. Like, you know, have a base like they do, even the ones that we can change. But then if someone wants to change the stripes on the truck or whatever, they can do so.
Keep left. And then turn left.
I agree 100%. That's the only thing that needs to change on it, and I think it would be just fine. We wouldn't need other skins. And yeah, your custom options are just solid colors, so there ain't much you can do with that, really.
Right, and I do like that they make it to where you can add your logos and all that cool stuff, but again, I'd like to have my logos and, you know, a nice paint job on there too, to match it. But we've already got a solution on that side, but just brainstorming here. And you never know, they may open it up to where they let us change it, but for now, we got what we got.
Stuff some
53.
big timer will eventually stumble across your channel and watch your video, and he'll get it fixed for us.
Right. Man, it always seems like I'm super close. Let me see. We got, oh, only 16 miles. Okay, I am close. I just saw that blinking dot, but I've seen it for a minute now. I knew that car was gonna mess us up. That's alright though. We'll just call that job security.
That's so crazy. Twice in 2 days, it won't let me pick up my first wrecker.
That is wild, man.
Time to get the job done.
Brother, we hit 500 subscribers. Y'all, thank you so much. I cannot believe that. Y'all are awesome.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
Man, that is wild. Thank y'all so much. I truly cannot do this without y'all. Man, I'm honored. Just like we were talking about the other day, just 8 months ago, we did our first post on the channel for hitting 50 subs, and now we're hitting 500, y'all. I am so grateful, and this puts us at the halfway point to a creator, but 500 makes us eligible for partner, which comes with all types of features, not only for the community, but also even for us as a channel to try and reach more people, like the auto dub feature that they allow the partners to have, which can supposedly y'all bring like 40% more viewership to your channel, just because it can auto dub all those different languages, which is super cool. But thank you all so much. I can't wait to do our 12-hour 500 sub celebration, and we are going to be doing some giveaways, y'all. So if you haven't been there, you know, here the last couple of days when we've been talking about it, that is something that will be coming. We'll be getting it scheduled. If I have time this weekend, we'll do it this weekend, but I do have to finish up my old house. I just moved, so I am thinking it will probably be next weekend, but I will keep you all posted, I promise. Man, this is mind-blowing. This is too cool.
That's so awesome, dude. You deserve it. Wish I could pop a top with you right now, brother.
Me too. I'm gonna go tell my girlfriend real quick. I'll be right back, y'all.
Have her shake up a bottle of champagne and pop that top.
Alright, y'all, I'm back. Man, this is awesome. Alright, now we're just gonna go pick up this one. I am back.
Get ready to turn left.
Man, I am so happy right now. I'm on the moon, brother. I am on the moon. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'm so grateful and happy that you all get to be here for just hitting that 500 subscriber goal. And that's something I thought would happen, you know, maybe in a couple years. Like, you were here for those conversations. Easy, you are my witness, friend. And they're still on the channel. People go back and listen to it. Like, when we were at 30, 40, 50 subs, I was like, man, you know, I just want a couple people to play the game with, you know. didn't think it would grow so quick, you know. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. All the people we've got to meet, play with, other streamers that have noticed me and stopped by, like, hey man, I noticed you in the left lane server, or hey, I see you streaming all the time. Like, it's just been a super awesome journey. And a lot more fulfilling in other ways, just because obviously we're not looking at it from like a, man, I'm trying to get to 1 million subscribers tomorrow and all that stuff. Just enjoying the journey every day, man. It has been a blast. And getting to meet all of y'all truly has been nothing short of a blessing, truly.
I said it before and I'll say it again, man. It's you that brings us here and keeps us here, man. You make a fun experience.
I appreciate that, man. I really do, because I am very mindful of the fact that, like, sometimes we dip heavy into that trucking ASMR sometimes, but I do also get there's time and place for that too. Just how there's a time and place for you and I to really get on here and yap the entire time, you know what I mean? And I love those, and I have a love for them equally, you know what I mean? As well as I know some people maybe like on two sides, right? Like man, y'all shut up, I'm trying to listen to the engine or the Jake brake, right? And then there's other people like, does this fella ever talk? You know what I mean? So I get both sides of that, but I do think they both kind of have their places, as well as for clips of both kinds, for when we're talking in clips and when we're not, you know, like they help on a content side in that aspect as well.
Yeah, that's how I met you, was I wondered if you ever talked. Which, like I said, I never talked to anybody on YouTube. I hardly ever left a comment on anything or any of that. But for some reason I did yours.
Worked out for both of us. I can happily say that, my friend, happily. But yeah, that was a trip. I'll never forget that when Jarhead showed up too. You're like, yeah, he used to be a fully silent streamer, you know, just because, especially starting out, you know, you kind of, we've talked about this before, in general, we can be our own worst critics, right? But especially when you're starting out like a very greenhorn streamer, you're like, man, I don't got anything that interesting to say that people want to listen to, but hey, I'm playing a cool game, you know, maybe they'll enjoy that. But then you learn over time very quickly, like, hey man, it's your personality, and it's your unique personality that adds to the experience for people and gets them to come back, you know, like just how we had that funny encounter with JB the other day for the first time when he found the channel, and he was saying I love ATS, but his autocorrect doomed him and it said I love ants, and I was like, hey man, I'm not judging you, you know what I mean? And like just those little things, right? Like, it's been awesome. And I was like, I've sorry, I'm shifting over here, brother, sorry. But just as I was telling my girlfriend, and I've said this several times, but even just like yesterday when we had the chat just going, you know, Backroad Runner, yourself, some other people chimed in, Michael hopped in there, DJ, you know, it's an awesome thing to see, just like getting to watch y'all chat back and forth amongst yourselves and stuff, like just how on some days we're kind of all on the more quiet side, which is something I've also enjoyed experiencing too, y'all. Like, it's not just me some days where it's like, you know, the chat's a little quiet, you know, like, hey man, we're here, we're supporting you, brother, you know what I mean? We're gonna throw a like, but we're not in a talkative mood today. And I get that, you know, because like you and I've talked about that behind the scenes, so to speak, like, you know, those days that I'm super monotone, y'all, and I'm not talking too much. It's not that I don't want to be here, it's just I may have worked in the sun around the house X hours, and so I'm just feeling a little beat, but I also still love to come and hang out with y'all, you know, and that's something that you and I've talked about a couple times.
Yes sir, and don't forget that your consistency really helps too, because it's nice to know that, you know, if this board or something, you know, even I can hop on and at least watch you play for a little bit, maybe talk a little bit, or like even when I'm at work and I gotta go count drawers or something, I can kick it on and, you know, talk for a little bit while I do that.
Right, 100%. And that's kind of been my big thing, is like, the only time I don't want to go live is if I absolutely can't, you know what I mean? Like, and that's if something comes up, like when I was moving, right? That was kind of like a no-brainer. I couldn't do anything about that, but when I can, I try to be here. Even like, that's what I was saying, like even if I am kind of tired and I'm feeling like, oh man, it would be nice just to hop in the bed and, or, you know, hop on the couch or whatever. Like I feel, you know, I feel like, I wouldn't say like I feel inclined, like I feel like I have to, but I don't want to let y'all down. And I always think about, like, you know, there may be that one person that's like, man, I hope virtual comes on live today. It's just been one of those days. I just want to hang out on stream in the background, whatever, right? Maybe not even chat. But I think about those things, even on holidays too. That's why I like to go live on holidays, just because, you know, there may be somebody somewhere that, you know, is experiencing their holiday alone, but having the stream up or whatever and having that sense of camaraderie and community can definitely help. I know I've done that in the past when I'm too far away from my family, and, you know, sometimes I've had, like my girlfriend went, they have like a cabin or whatever, and they went out there one year. I wasn't able to get out there because I had to work, and I remember being like, on the holidays, I was like, well, it's just me, myself, and I out here. But being able to, you know, pull up a stream or even a YouTube video, you know, if somebody you'd like to watch, you know, definitely can help you a lot through those times. So I just try to do my part on that. Even if it's just like we were talking about, just to circle back kind of in closing, even if it's just to kind of keep it more on the quiet side and we're just kind of letting the game do all the talking, you know, still showing up and being there. I do like to be consistent, if nothing else, you know. The energy may fluctuate, but the Mustang, listen, Jack, I know the lane was open, but goodness gracious. Trying to give me all the work in the world over here, easy. Made me miss my turn, too. Look at this mess.
I hate when that happens.
Mustang, I'm about over you. I'll tell you what's the truth. All right.
Well, let's see if it'll let me hook up on this record call.
Just a friendly reminder, lower that suspension, my friend.
Yes, sir. I've been trying to remember that since last night. I think that's kind of cool, so I want to use it.
Yeah, and if you want to really get technical with it, I do not. And the reason for that is you probably put that together just because after you're going a certain speed and depending on where you're at, you may not want to have that thing riding lowrider and you hit a bump and then all things go awry. But there is a setting in the config file that you can change to where you can adjust it at all times, to where once you hit, I think, over 35 or 40 miles an hour, how it starts to go back up, you can stop that. But I've left it just default. So once I get up to a little over 30, it starts to put the truck back up in place.
Copy that. Yeah, I started the reset hotkey too, so I got control over all that now. That's pretty sweet, dude. I'm so excited I found that. Thank you.
10-4. Yeah, I had the same thing. It was actually from watching videos and stuff before I ever went live that I saw people doing it. And so when I was playing the game and none of the keys, hold up, yo, none of the keys were doing it, I was like, hold up. And that's when I realized that they didn't have a hotkey to them yet. But yeah, man, that is a cool little feature. And it's cool to see people in the community notice it too. Or the thing, like, I don't know if it was you or Jarhead, but I remember the time I rolled my windows down with one of y'all and you were like, hold up, you can roll windows down in this game? And then I just had it happen. I think Backroad Runner said it or someone else, and then they were also talking about like, hold up, did you just lower your truck?
That's awesome. Yeah, when you can show that stuff on your stream, all that really stands out. And see, I never noticed you do it, but a lot of the times you're in cab too, I guess, that I'm watching anyway.
Go straight on. That's
Right, 100%. There has definitely been times that, and this is not to play devil's advocate, I'm just being honest,
Keep
in
right.
case depending on when people watch, right? But there are definitely times where, like, you know, and you know about these because you played with me that I'm staying in third person to get content, you know, to get clips from outside the truck. But when we're playing, 99% of the time we are 100% in first person. Just because when I've got the webcam on and all that stuff, and I'm about to turn it back on, y'all, my girlfriend's just been in and out ever since I told her about the 500. She's like, I'm gonna cry. I was like, don't do that to me, because then I'll be waterworks, and now I'll be on stream making a fool of myself.
I'll cry with you.
And see, I had a feeling you would too, and then we'd just be it'd be the virtual crying stop.
Hey, you got a little bit of everything to offer here.
You know what I mean? Trying to get a little diversify our portfolio, if you will.
One day we'll teach first aid.
No joke. I know, man, and it's been really cool you saying that stuff. Speaking of getting a little bit of everything, I know we've been talking about videos. We've talked about videos since the beginning of the channel, but I can truly say I'm starting to get that itch and excitement for doing videos, just as I get the excitement to go live for y'all. Now, I don't say that in a condescending way. I just say it like doing videos makes me so nervous, because live streaming, right? It's all organic, right? Like, I can't fake anything, I can't script anything, there's no front, there's nothing, right? Like, what you see, what you get, what happens on stream is what happens, whether I do a good job driving, whether I put this thing in a ditch, it all happens in real time. But with the videos, it doesn't intimidate me to talk over video, you know, gameplay or anything like that. What makes me nervous is the editing, but I know the best way I'm going to get good at that is practice, right? Like, same thing with live streaming, you know? And so I'm really excited about that now, instead of it just kind of making me more nervous than it should, in all honesty. Now I'm just kind of like, you know what, yeah, you know, maybe the first couple videos I make, there's going to be some things I'm learning, but after watching several videos, because I do, y'all, I watch videos of, you know, how I can, you know, improve, little tips that I can improve from being a content creator, live streaming, etc., and taking some of those tips. But a guy that's got, like, I think 40 million across several of his channels, 40 million subscribers, one thing he started doing when he started making videos is just pick 3 things that you notice in your video that you'd like to do better, or things you do differently, and then just apply it to your next video, and then just keep doing that. And so I think that's kind of the method I'm going to be doing going forward. And so practice makes perfect, you know what I mean? We'll get it down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just don't get so good at it that you can get away from live streams.
Oh, never. Absolutely not. I mean, man, I know that so many people feel like, you know, and especially in this day and age, y'all, I'm not, you know, blind to the fact that clips are the majority. I mean, we even think about it for us, right? Like, if you look up something real quick, you're trying to find the shortest video so you can get the information you need and get on there and do what you wanted to do, right? Whether it be like a gameplay walkthrough, whether it be an engine mod, etc., right? We're trying to get the quickest example and then get out of there. But at the same time, man, I've just found astounding results with, you know, live streaming. And I know that's not the case with everyone, but I do know with staying within my certain niche, I know that does lead to higher viewership and things over time. That's just statistics. That's not me being egotistical or anything. That's just how what YouTube has said. But I believe a combination of that with the videos, though, I think that would end up tapping into more over time. Videos versus live streams, after they've been uploaded, have a much better chance of reaching a broader audience versus a live stream upload as well. That is just statistics. So I do know I've kind of had that working against me, so to speak, in all honesty, but it hasn't obviously bothered me enough to where I did something. I think we're over 230 live streams now at this point, and that's definitely not going to stop. I still want that to be my core, kind of be like a live streamer at the core, and then just do videos and highlight clips and stuff like that. And I would post more shorts on the YouTube, and I think I will eventually start doing that. But when I was you know, just getting started here, you know, sub 100 videos on the channel, when I would do shorts and then live stream, it almost seemed like they were competing for viewership, if that makes sense. Which I do notice with TikTok too, right? Like, if I post a TikTok clip and then I go live 30 minutes later, I can pretty much, you know, kiss all those views that could have came in within that first hour or two goodbye to that short. So just kind of experimenting with the algorithms and each platform, what they like, has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that. But I do think doing the videos will help hopefully bring more people over to the live streams too as well, and that's the goal. But I know from experience from watching other people, you're valid in bringing that up, because that does happen. Whether it be, you know, people do usually videos, then every once in a while they'll be like, hey guys, we're gonna do a live stream, you know, as a special little treat. But for here it'll be more so like live stream, and then video will be like a special little treat. I think will kind of be the way it plays out for us. I would like, you know, once we get into a stable spot, I feel good about my editing, I would like to do at least one video upload a week, and then we could obviously clip some of the gameplays and things and add more videos, but still want to live stream every single day and then get at least one video out a week, whether it be, hey, you know, these are the recommended mods, whether we're doing a truck review, that type of thing. But I do notice, man, and this is something that does make me happy, is that some of the top searches for ATS are like how to mod ATS, how to add mods, how to get a tow truck in ATS, how to get engine mods, all those things. And so those are things not only that we've been live streaming, but something obviously I feel pretty well versed in, to where I could confidently go in and do the video on it. Only reason I say that I feel confident in doing it, because we've confidently done it while live streaming. So given that we've done it in real time with people watching us, I feel like I'll be okay to walk people through while I record the video, you know. And that's another thing I do think from doing all these live streams, brother. I do think that's going to help me make the videos, just because, like you've said, like, man, you've always kind of given me my flowers in that regard of like, man, you'll stop what you're doing and help somebody right then and there on the spot. Whether it be like, hey man, what's that mod? Do you mind showing me that mod? You know, just so I can see what image it looks like, you know. We'll go back to the title screen in a New York minute, you know. It's nothing for me. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, just because, and maybe that comes from my customer service and manual labor background, because it was kind of a mix of both, especially in the pool company. It was like the best of both worlds there.
It makes sense. Being a customer service forever is, you know, kind of makes me want to help people too all the time. So that's really cool that you do that. You don't see that much from YouTube.
Yeah, man, and you know how there are people that make you pay to get access to the mods they use and all that stuff, and it's not, I won't lie to y'all and say like it wasn't something that I saw as a potential thing, just because when you're trying to create content, especially as you're planning on like, man, what can I offer my community, something as kind of like a perk or an add-on to, like, you know, memberships, whatever, right? And that was something that I even talked with you about possibly exploring. It's also why I bring it up, to hold myself fully accountable. But I also, after thinking about it, I never ended up doing that or going with it, because the way I thought about it, it was like, I want to make this seamless. I don't want to create some type of paywall, for one. You know, if we start getting into microtransaction territory there, and I'm just not with that, Jack. But, you know, I want it to be a seamless experience. That's why we added the mods channel on our Discord. That way if people want to take a look and be like, man, this game looks phenomenal on virtual screen, I want to check out what mods he's using, because I always get asked, you know, like, are you doing any reshade or anything like that? And we're not. You know, we've made the game look as good as we have from messing with the NVIDIA control panel and, you know, some Steam Workshop mods. And that to me is an amazing feeling, because, you know, there's paid reshaders, brother, that you can get for this game. So for us to be able to kind of compete with that on some level is definitely an awesome feeling. But also to make it accessible to people as well with the load order I'm going to be posting tonight should hopefully make it easier for people that want to join the convoy, because from my understanding, you don't even have to have it in the proper load order. I know we do that just to try and make it seamless, but from my understanding, you can just hit activate session mods, and as long as you've got those particular mods installed on the PC, you'll be good to go.
And some of them you can just click and it'll take you right to the download as well. I think it's the ones that are in Steam.
Right, you are correct. And then the ones that are outside of Steam, you know, just the ones that are on different pages and things like that, those will usually pull you up a download link once you click it, you know, give you that option to save as, and then just work it that way. But Steam Workshop ones make it very easy, because a lot of those, if you want to make it super easy, what I recommend for people to do for Steam Workshop mods is just load up ATS, go over there to mods, and then just click on the Steam Workshop, and then from there you're putting it right on the game and you can see it, you know, you can see it load in. To me, that makes it kind of the most easiest, you could say. Not saying that going straight to the Steam Workshop from there is necessarily harder, but I think from a seamless standpoint, I think going to the game mod, because it just kind of makes it all flow.
It does.
Not yet, because I told him you were coming in and out. Do it that way, honey. Do it closer from the book. There you go. Perfect. Sorry, I'm just opening the...
You should start a little bloopers channel too.
Oh, for real, man. There's a lot of... Not a lot, but there's several guys I've seen on TikTok and stuff, and I'm not judging them. I know what they're doing. I get their whole vibe that they're going with. It's not kind of like how I'll lower the cabin suspension. I try to drive, for the most part, semi-realistic, with the occasional having a little fun, getting a little chaotic. But there's some people that, you know, they just keep truck stability at 100%, drive wild, drift the truck around with the trailer and stuff, make it look like Tokyo Drift. And they'll do a lot of funny bloopers and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. But it did make me laugh. I was like, but yet I get people, you know, we get, you know, the occasional troll, whatever you want to call them, that'll come in and kind of nitpick at me, and it's like, brother, like, but you come after me? You know what I mean? It's like, I just made an accident, you know. I understand I got a little carried away every once in a while, and I hold myself accountable to that, but, you know, that's the occasional. You know, I don't just get on here and drive 100 plus the whole time. Sorry, I didn't turn in time. I was trying to talk and do this chat at the same time. It doesn't work out.
Exactly, and that's what makes them funnier, the bloopers, because they are on accident, and there is, you know, isn't all the time.
Exactly. I was going to finish with that, but I had to let go of the mic because I was turning late already because of the thing. I've got a pretty good method. I've got to kind of just do a little spin deal, but it is still a little tricky.
I hear you. My shifter splitter's on mine, so I hear you 100%.
One day I have my CB radio, brother, and I'll just be able to click and talk to you.
Alright, I'm looking forward to that, and the shifter knob. The Eaton Fuller.
Oh yeah, big 10-4 on that.
I was looking at them on ATS accessories and on Amazon, and they're like $200 more on ATS accessories. And I can't, I mean, maybe I'm missing it, I'm not getting much info to work with, but they almost seem like the same exact ones.
Yeah, man, that's definitely worth looking into. I'll take a look at that and see what I can find on it.
Maybe one's Bluetooth and one's USB. I don't know. I would think they'd both be USB.
New one's lagging their shifter though, because USB Bluetooth would definitely add that a little bit.
That's what I would think.
back on the road. Had to take a look at that 500 subscriber count one more time, man. That's just surreal. That's 1,000 easy. 1,000, brother.
That's so awesome, man.
I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. I don't think I've had 500 friends in my life. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, maybe not even acquaintances. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I truly think that.
Yeah, I don't think I know 500 people's names.
Well, I know I definitely don't. And that's why I think I'll forever be able to be grateful no matter how big the channel, no matter small or big it gets. I'll always stay forever grateful, just because, like I've said this several times, but the way I always think about it, y'all, whether it's 2 people, 1 person, 10 people, 15, 20, I think the most we've ever had in here was, I think, 30. But, like, no matter the number, like, always put in my head, like, just think about it as if that number of people are hanging out at your house. You know what I mean? And that room fills up quick. You know what I mean? When you start thinking about it like that. And so that's just the way I've always thought about it, even from the beginning. Like, it's just a super cool feeling that you just got that many people hanging out with you. Whether it be 1 person, 2 people, or 10. Like, that's awesome, man. Likewise, brother.
Can't wait to see what the future holds.
And then, y'all, we're really just hitting this milestone in perfect timing, because, you know, we're just a couple months away from fall time, and then we'll get the fire pit. We're gonna have some nice community IRL hangouts too, y'all. So not just gaming and stuff. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I want to get some nice tin roof recordings, you know, go sit it on my porch, get some nice recordings of that. And that may end up being a different channel, y'all, down the road, but we'll see. But definitely the fire pit and all that.
Heck yeah, man, can't wait.
I'll make y'all some virtual s'mores, you know what I mean? He's gonna like, no, man, that's not gonna do for me. You're gonna have to overnight ship those things.
Hell, with fall coming, I may get down there sooner than later.
Hey, there you go. Come on down. I was thinking about that, bro, because, you know, I know that you eventually want to come to Florida, and we talked about that for a couple times, but I was thinking when we were talking about doing the sim setup with like a passenger seat and stuff built in, you could, when you come, we could do like a ride along, you know what I mean? Take shifts.
Go straight up.
That would be awesome.
That's my goal when, like, I do a 24-hour stream, man. I want to get like a green screen and all that. That way I can like put a little sleeper in there, and then I'll put like, you know, like a little futon or whatever. And then that way I could just be like in the sleeper.
Sounds like a good idea to me. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's something I was thinking of, because I was like, man, I want to do like a 24-hour one day, and just with thinking about it, I was like, you know what would be like the neatest way I could do it, especially with the content that we stream. I was like, that'd be pretty sick to do a green screen, do the sleeper, and then set you up like a little
Go straight
futon or
up.
whatever. And then that way, whenever you get up, you just hit the road again.
I love it. Great idea.
Keep right, and then turn right.
The one perk of insomnia give you a whole lot of time to think, my friend.
Turn right.
Yes, it does. I had this great idea when I was thinking about starting a live YouTube thing, you know, like Ryan Hall and stuff. And I come across a video where they took in the doll stuffing, you know, that they use, or kind of like cotton balls but thicker, and they put it across their ceiling and stuff, and put those little LED strips through them. And then they had them turned on so they look like lightning and stuff. And so I was thinking about doing that whenever I do a live thing. But I'm not going to do that. But I don't know. I like doing the other small things. But I still think it would be really cool to do that, especially down here. Because in my basement and stuff, you know, you can see all the forms in the bottom of the floor. So I could really, you know, put it up in there. It would look pretty cool.
Keep left, and then exit left.
I know exactly what you're talking about, brother. And that would be sick. I wanted to do it once, and then I had to remember I live in Florida. And so, that's like a no-go. Just whether it be spiders or whatever. I don't need to create my own little ecosystem up on the ceiling that I can't see.
Oh, that's a darn good point. Being in the basement, that would probably do the same for me.
It just depends, like if you got it super locked down and stuff, you may be good, but again, I don't know Nebraska like that, so I don't know like the insects and all that stuff, how that goes, but and that's why the only reason I say Florida is because I've seen those TikTok videos, y'all, where they're like, Florida's just Australia's long lost cousin or whatever as far as bugs and stuff like that, but man, Australia is on a different level. Like I can say that as a Floridian, man. Australia is on a different level with the big old spiders and stuff like that. One spider that they got that'll take up like half of your wall if it gets on there. Like, no, I couldn't do that, bud. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't survive that.
Keep right, and then exit left.
Now, mind you, snakes and stuff like that, especially when I was like managing the pool company, doing that, man, no problem. I'll get a snake out of your pool, frogs, lizards, wolf spiders, whatever. Got bit by them plenty of times, but you bring that, you know, Hagrid spider friend looking buddy into my house, I'm out. I'll move out. He can keep the house. You know what I mean? And I don't have like some terrible fear of spiders or anything like that. I'm not one of those people, you know, but that's just a no-go, brother. You know what I mean? Like, legs longer than mine. No, absolutely not.
Keep right, and then exit.
That's funny. I am one of those people. I don't like spiders, and I absolutely hate snakes with a passion. They scare me so bad.
Really?
But here in Nebraska, our bugs are small, little suicide bombers. They just fly right into your ear, your eye, your mouth, the side of your head. They're really annoying.
They're just crash dummies out there, huh? You got a bunch of crash out insects.
Oh yeah, it's like, you know, Middle East, but Middle West of America. They get pretty crazy. They just, especially like the June bugs, they'll just fly in and just smoke you. They don't care. And then we got like a lot of moths and stuff. You see a lot of them out by the street lights and stuff at night, and sometimes they get in your house. My mom, when I was younger, she had one get in her ear and had to go to the hospital and get it pulled out. That was crazy.
Man, I've heard stories about that. I remember there was a baseball player years back that happened to him. Like he kept, like his ear was just giving him trouble. And then he was like, man, I could swear something's like moving, right? And he didn't know if it was from the pressure or what. And they went to the doctor, and sure enough, when they were playing the ball game, one of the, you know, insects by all the lights eventually it made its way on down and swooped in. I was like, oh man, that's nightmare fuel.
Oh, for sure, dude. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. And I bet you I was probably 7 years old. And I just remember it was in the middle of the night, and I remember my mom waking up and freaking out. And it was like fluttering in there, so she got in the bathtub, tried to drown it, and it wouldn't. So then she went down to the hospital. This was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Ended up getting it taken out there. To this day, if she knows one's in the room, she won't go to sleep in there.
I don't blame her, honestly. Like, right on your mom on that. I'm with her. I'd be up too. I thought, no, I'm taking your word, Mom. I don't.
Oh yeah, I always think about it whenever I see one, but I don't know. It's kind of a 1 in a million chance, it seems. You know, I mean, look at how many bugs and stuff we eat in our sleep. It's just crazy. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of them that go in and out overnight.
Easy, I was really hoping you wouldn't dive that deep. I was really hoping you wouldn't go there. Obviously, we all know that random fact, Easy, but don't nobody want to talk about it. As soon as you start, I was like, oh god, here he goes. He's gonna say it. You're good, man. I know. That's just on me. I meant to say that's like just for me. That's my one thing. Is like I remember seeing that pop up on my screen one day as a random fact. I was like, I could have gone my whole life without ever knowing that.
Right, I bet. At least in Florida, if they try and crawl in your mouth, they'll like suffocate you so you wake up.
Man, my house is so sprayed down. Nothing makes it in. We had like a wasp. This is when we were changing all the screens and stuff, you know, when we first moved in. Well, wasp ended up getting in. That buddy wasn't in our house 30 seconds because they put that dust and stuff on the window seals in between the screen and stuff as well. That buddy lasted like 30 seconds and he just started moving slow-mo and then it was done. And so doing that on the regular, especially during the summertime, I do not mess around with that, especially just because during hurricane season you get all that rain, and then after the rain all the bugs want to dip out. But like, you ain't coming here? We'll find somewhere else to go, buddy.
Right. I never thought about that. Yeah, right after hurricane season, that would get pretty rough.
It's just too because the humidity spikes, man. You know what I mean? So all the mosquitoes, all that stuff comes out. Like my girlfriend, when we were moving, and her niece and I literally called it because she's like, man, I wish it would rain because it was super hot and muggy and stuff. And we both were like, no. And she's like, you know, she's kind of looking a little puzzled. I was like, you got to remember where we're at. In Florida, if it rains, it just gets more humid. Like, it don't cool it down any.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yep, that's that lovely benefit of living in a tropical area.
Yes, sir. We're like the frozen tundra during wintertime. I could still live in a place that's like 50 degrees at very least. I might go even further south than you and go right down to the Keys or something.
There you go. Yeah, you're not gonna like me here in a couple months because it'll probably be like 40s and 30s for you, and it'll be a cool 80 for me. It finally starts to get cold. I'd say into December, January. February is definitely the coldest month, I'd say, of course, and that's short-lived. And I love the cold. Now, don't get me wrong, I like my tropical climate too, but I do like the cold.
Yeah, I especially where you're at, you know, get to see the cold a whole lot. If it, you know, you may need to come down here during winter so you can see some more snow and deal with the cold and let it remind you how much you dislike it.
Yeah, when I go and visit my family, you know, out there in Washington, it's cold as all get out up there, and you know, it's always rainy, that little drizzle or whatever, so then you're wet and cold. So I know that feeling, and it does get to a point where you're like, all right, Jack, like, ready to go get warm somewhere. But definitely here, that's one thing I think it is kind of awesome about this area, is that when it does get cold, you really enjoy it, you know what I mean? Just because you don't get to, like, we always have a joke here, if it gets below 70, people start wearing hoodies, and that's very much the case. I mean, you see it on my streams, like, I keep my house about 68, because I don't mess around, man. I can't, like, being hot outside, we've talked about this before, but just do a quick refresh. Being hot outside, it could be 110 heat index, I'll mow the lawn, I'll pick up all the sticks out the yard, I'll do jumping jacks, I don't care. But once I go inside, I want to be cool, you know what I mean? My house, I don't want to have hot. Even in the winter time, like, even if the outside it's like 30 degrees, I'm not turning the heat on, getting it up to, you know, 70 something. Like, no, we're still going to stay around there in the 60s, just because I don't like to get super hot. Because I can't sleep hot, you know what I mean? And as we all know, it's better just to keep those walls cool instead of having to try and cool them down overnight. You'll spend the whole night hot, and then in the morning the walls may be cooled down.
Point there, but you're 30-degree cold though. That's not very cold. Here it gets, you know, during late December, January, February, it gets like -20 sometimes, and that's freaking cold.
Yeah, that's freezing, brother. That's not cold, that's freezing. That's below freezing, to be exact.
Oh yeah, and we're right in the river, the Platte River Valley, so, you know, wind comes through and stuff, and man, that wind chill really kicks it down. It gets bad. My heater's usually on about 74 during hardcore winter, and usually about 72 the rest of winter, but I usually stick with about a 68 during summertime, because I'm like you, I'll work outside, I love being out there in it, I can do whatever, but when I come inside and shower and want to kick back, I want it to be nice and cool, throw a blanket on if I need to.
Bro, when I lived in St. Louis, the one story I could share with you to give any relation to that, and that's just my personality, y'all. I just do that, the ADHD thing where I give a story with a story. That's why Easy and I are best friends, because we do it back and forth, and it's all love. The one time that I got like really a rude awakening, like beyond just Seattle trips and stuff, is when I went and lived in St. Louis for a while. And that, man, when I'll never forget it. I went to go to work, and it said 0 degrees, and it was snowing. Now again, y'all, I've lived in the South all my life up till this point, right? And so I'm sitting here like, so we're just going to call it, right? It's snowing, right? We're just going to go get back in bed, right? He's like, oh no, it don't stop around here when it snows. I'm like, what? It's 0 degrees, Jack. You know? But that was an experience. Getting to work through the winter time there was definitely a cool experience, just because you got to see what that was like, you know, in Florida, right? Like if it gets below freezing and roads ice over and stuff, schools are going to shut down, you know, people aren't going to work, etc. But obviously, in places like that, they have the infrastructure and, you know, the salting trucks and all that to get the interstates and all that stuff taken care of in the residential areas. But here, you know, like you saw with Texas, right? Like they didn't have that stuff, that infrastructure. So when they get a whole different type of weather that they're not used to, it really messes things up. And I am aware there's some other stuff there, but we won't get into all that. But, you know, just from a basis standpoint, you know, it's not a place that's getting snow every year, you know, around the holidays, like you would see in, like, you know, other spots that are more common to it, like, you know, Nebraska, Seattle, etc.
Right, because why would you have the infrastructure for it? I mean, it would be a waste of money to, you know, to really have to do it. That's like buying volcano insurance here. It's pointless.
Right, absolutely.
Keep left.
Oh, I'm turning at the light. I thought I had to turn before the light. Never mind.
Turn left.
But yeah, man, it is awesome. But yeah, I definitely want to check out the bike because I want to do a storm chase with you, bro. I want to go out there and see some action as well. And we get, you know, the occasional one down here, but nothing like that to where I could go to like a big field, you know, and really get to see it. Now, mind you, we've got farmland and stuff, but I'd have to drive a good ways to get up out there. Be about an hour and some change, maybe a little less. But no, because where I'm at, it's probably maybe 40 minutes, I'd say. But then you're on private property and all, you know what I mean? It's not the same for like how it is for y'all out there, where you just got, you know, open fields and stuff like that. You know, you just roads are alongside fields. It's just kind of how it is.
Oh yeah, it's pretty well broke up around here. And you gotta kind of know your roads, or at least how to read them on your radar background. That way you know how to get in and out. You know, I used to know the roads a lot more back in the day when I was younger and used to, you know, go out hunting and stuff. But I haven't done that in a lot of years because there's so many houses and stuff out there. Now nothing looks familiar, so I have to, you know, retrain myself every time I go. And usually I go by myself, so I'm trying to read radar, read road routes, trying to watch the storm, do all that at once. It gets kind of overwhelming, but it's pretty fun. And it would be awesome to have you go with, but May or June is generally our chance to do it around here.
Go straight on.
Alright, I'm following you. May have to get some on the calendar here around May or June one time. For sure, that'd be fun, man. And that's something like watching the newest Twister did make me happy with that one scene, you know, like when the tornadoes coming along and they're on, you know, because you live out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like a straight road and there's fields on each side, and you know they can't, you know, wind and, you know, get out of the way type of thing. But you know, they just took that truck, dipped into that field, and went diagonally across. Cause like that's what I'm doing. I don't care. Like, if I got to go through a fence and get off of that road, we got to go, Jack. Just because that is one thing that has always been something that, you know, and sadly there's been some sad cases of that happening. But just like where you can't get out of there. You know what I mean? You're just stuck on that strip of road. You just got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, pretty much. You gotta do what you gotta do. I hope to never get in that position. I like to stay a safe distance back, but get to see one hopefully at some point.
Right. That'd be how I'd feel. Like I just want to be able to, you know, be able to see it and then get on. You know, we're not out here with the Dominator, you know, with the shield around us, metal and all that stuff. That is super cool. That's like with Farm Sim, man. I'm really hoping somebody does that mod. I'm just gonna keep talking about it, and maybe one day I can get good with one of the modders that does the trucks and stuff, and see if they'd be willing to create that. Because man, that would just be so cool to like spawn a tornado in, or have a tornado spawn in, and you know, take the little twister truck over there, sink the anchors down into the soil. That'd just be cool.
That would be really cool.
It's something I thought about immediately after seeing the movie, and then when Farm Sim 25 revealed it was going to have tornadoes, I was like, modders gotta add that. I was like, we gotta have that.
Right.
I was looking at some of the simulation games, man, and like the car dealer simulator looks pretty cool. They got a gas station one. They're kind of, you know, in that same realm. I think those could be some that we could check out down the road too. Seem pretty neat.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, I have gas station simulator, but I just had this standard really, and they started putting out, you know, other add-ons and stuff that you had to buy, and I kind of fell off of it then. It just wasn't, I don't know, I guess long enough, but at the same time the game's like constant, non-stop, click, click, click. So it was a lot of fun. It kept your mind real busy.
Right, that's what I was thinking, like something kind of just has a constant action, kind of like ATS, you know, or Farm Sim, where there's constantly something to be doing. Not necessarily mean, you know, it'll always be around, but definitely something to possibly change things up a little bit.
Oh yeah, if you like getting overwhelmed, it's definitely a good game for you. I do. I like to be constantly going. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't a game that I liked enough that I was gonna go further on with, you know, and buy the add-ons. But that's my opinion strictly. I know there's a lot of people who like different things, so that's kind of how I felt about it. It was still a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, good game.
100%.
It's one of those I think everybody should try once type of things.
Oh yeah. I think too, just because those are the type of games that, even if like in your case, like, you know, it's not one I'm going to play on a weekly basis, but it's a game you got in your catalog that, hey, you know what, I feel like working at the gas station today. You know, I'm just hanging out at the house, type of thing, and I've had days like that. Like, I just re-downloaded one of my childhood games that was free on the Xbox 360 back in the day, and I saw they had done like a little reboot of that. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to hop on here just cuz. And I like having little games like that in my library, because my Steam library is not nearly what my, you know, console library is, so we're still building that up. Still pretty new to console gaming. Or PC gaming. You know what I mean. Sorry, I was getting called into the way station, threw me off.
Exit Brad.
You're good. I was wondering if you were going to catch yourself.
What's going on, Clark? Good to see you, my friend. And yeah, luckily that time I did. Be here. What we got, what we got. £97,987, y'all. Not bad. Oh, 100%. Not only is it a cool series, you know, I really enjoy it. And you know that because that's why you got it for me. You knew I was really looking forward to getting this one, this Wrecker DLC. But it is a lot more relaxed as far as you're not, you know, you don't got a 50-foot, 70-foot trailer behind you, whatever, you know, you're just chilling.
Right. You can go in and out of traffic easier, and it's I don't know, I guess I don't feel as uptight because I got to worry about so much space with the semi, especially like my Cabover. I repainted it and I stretched it, and so now it's real long
I feel your pain, brother. All my trucks are stretched, so I feel your pain. Even with the Cabover, you know, just the base Cabover chassis, I've got that one stretched, and so it adds to it. So not only do you have to get, you know, back comfortable with driving the Cabover, you know, as far as when you're turning, right? We know that's a little different in the Cabover. You got to go out a little further, but then you stretch it, and so now you've got to balance that out as well. And so I know exactly what you mean there. But yeah, man, the Cabovers, there's just something fun about driving them. And I don't know about you, I know everybody's sensitivity is different in the game, but for me, man, with the Cabover, even just driving on a straight line, sometimes that wheels start going a little left and right, you know, just a little more loose as far as feeling everything on the road. And I really enjoy that a lot. And I also think it's funny that, like you said, it is a little easier when we're just driving the Wrecker, but dude, I've been driving the Wrecker slower than any of my other trucks. No, not in the past. I used to drive the Wrecker wild, but here lately, and obviously going forward, again, I'm gonna get back more to the route of just kind of driving speed limit, sometimes a couple miles over, but limit the chaos again. Now, cattle hauling is usually when I'll drive usually the fastest, but even then I gotta slow that down a little bit too.
My next record call again, and I'm stuck to it. I can't get off of it at all. I'm pulling it in the cones again.
Let me ask you this: do you have the convoy fix for the Wrecker?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
I know you had it. I just don't know with us, you know, taking stuff out if it possibly got deleted or whatever. But just check in your documents whenever. You don't got to do it right now, but that'd be something you could possibly look at to see if that was the cause. Or if you just got different tires or something on there that's throwing it off. I'm not sure. You need like a different size tire than it's designed for, or whatever the case may be.
Well, there's a possibility. And I think I got the mod. I'll have to look real quick. Hold on a second. I won't be able to hear you. I gotta check though. Now I'm curious.
Go straight up. That's right.
Taking us the long way around, Joe.
Get ready to turn right.
Yep, I got it.
Turn right.
10-4. I wonder what it is, man. That is weird. Because I haven't had that issue. Not once.
Yeah, this one I even lowered the suspension on the back and the front. Backed up to it and it never would let me connect. And then I go forward and now it's pulling everything.
How strange.
I finally got unhooked.
Just a friendly reminder, you know when we're doing the Wrecker, it's T instead of enter.
Right, I actually got it set to Y on my steering wheel.
10-4. I was just making sure. I didn't know if you had, you know, the info thing up to tell you which key to press, because I did it the first time. I was like, pressing enter, and I was like, oh, not the right key for this.
Right, yeah, it's not even popping the thing up for me, so I don't know what's going on.
Go straight up. That's right.
Well, I think I might quit wrecking or something.
Well, there you go.
I'm 0 for 2 tonight and 1 for 2 last night, so.
That is strange. I'm wondering if you just might need to re-download it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. But we did just delete it and re-download it, so I don't know.
I didn't re-download the record just because it didn't get an update for 1.55. The latest update at that time was in April.
You're right, but I did not delete it. I did take it out of the load order, and then I did put it back exactly where it was before.
Yeah, but
I remember that now because you said something about not needing to delete it.
right, that's why I was wondering if you deleted it, you know, out of your, completely off your computer, took it out of your recycle bin, download it fresh again, if that could possibly fix any corrupted file or anything within that mod. Not saying that's a guarantee, just something I thought of. Or if you just by chance change the tire size and are riding too high for it to connect, but I don't know. I don't think that'd be good.
Turn left.
I don't know. It could be that simple. But I'm frustrated enough right now. I'm gonna do a different run and I'll figure it out tomorrow after work or something.
I don't blame you. There you go, just hop in that tanker. Enjoy a nice cruise, man. I'm thinking dinner's probably been done for some time now, so probably maybe after this one I might stop this one and then maybe transition over to Thinker after dinner in the show. Because I definitely want to stream for a while today, and given that my internet went out earlier, y'all, I know not everybody is aware, but my internet went out. That's why we went live later. But I want to do another late night stream, especially in honor of us hitting 500 subs. And then I'm also going to be working on getting the giveaway ready and all that cool stuff. And y'all feel free to give any feedback, especially if you're regulars and you know that you'll be here that day, which I will give y'all the exact day here very soon. In the next couple of days, I'll be letting everybody know. We'll post it in the Discord, and I'll also make a YouTube post about it. Y'all make sure you're there for that. That's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited for the first official giveaway. I know we've done one, you know, where I've given you stuff and all that, but just like a full-on giveaway is gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, ours was we'll call it reciprocal gift rather than the giveaway.
Yeah, that's more like a friend, you know, getting you your wish listed item on Steam. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of always saw it too.
Go straight on. That's right.
Likewise. If it wasn't for you, I don't know if I'd still be playing this game right now or not, but now I'm addicted.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's really cool, and I'm glad myself that I got as into it as I did. You know, I didn't just stop after the cloud-based gaming service trying it on there, because I remember I only got the cloud-based gaming service because I wanted to play ATS so bad. I was like, man, I'll get it. Since at the time I didn't have the proper PC to play it and do all that stuff, and then I was even buying DLCs, brother. I was buying map DLCs and everything on the cloud-based gaming service, and so I'm glad I stuck with it to experience the paid mods, you know, the paid trucks, the paid engine sounds, all the other cool sound mods that they have. And I truly feel like ZEEMODS is like essential to have, even if you just get the free stuff, man. It adds so much that I feel like it's a shame to miss it.
Definitely, the ZEEMODS free mods are an absolute need. They just they're game changing. And then you add left lane to it, and I mean, it's a whole different game already.
Yep.
Then you can step up into Rudas and the Wreckers, and it just keeps going from there. It's awesome.
Absolutely, man. I cannot agree more. And that's what's so awesome about, even if you start, whether it be a cloud-based gaming service, if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, whatever, like being able to level up, if you will, and go from, like in your case, keyboard to wheel, in my case, controller to wheel, right? Just, and having those different stages makes it all that much more enjoyable too, in my opinion. Like even for us now, like I'm not at my final product for the game by far, and I don't think with a game like this you ever really can be, because there's always, you know, one more thing that you could do or that you'd like to get, whether it be like a full-on dashboard, full-on rig, whatever it may be, you know. But that's what makes it so fun.
Turn left.
Oh yeah, the possibilities are endless, man, and they're getting more and more endless with all the, you know, talk of the new add-ons and stuff. So I was watching a video earlier. A guy was talking about, he was driving around an RV, and he was talking about, he thinks, it's not a for sure thing, but with the new road trip add-on or whatever they're gonna do, that it'll have camping in it. That's pretty crazy. I think that'll, you know, like we were talking the other day, they got a lot of cool stuff planned.
Oh yeah, and I cannot wait to add into that, you know, with the channel, just because, you know, I like doing the ambient streams and all types of stuff like that, so I'd love to get a little even more RP with ATS going, that we could do, like you said, like the camping trips, little road trips. I mean, that's what it's really getting called, it's road trip. And so that's gonna be a lot of fun, man. Like I was talking about last time we discussed it, I just think with the variety of, you could have people trucking, right? You could have some people in just regular vehicles, little four-wheelers, right? And meeting up with truckers, whatever, or just exploring those little small roads that are hard to do with, you know, a full-on rig and trailer. But I think it's gonna make for some really cool things, whether it be truck meets, car meets, you know. I think it's gonna broaden things up in a big way, and then the mods that'll come with that on top of it, I think would even open some more doors for ZEEMODS to possibly make some more sounds for, you know, those cars, the trucks, etc. So really opening some doors for everybody involved, I think.
It is. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all turns out. I'm excited. I'm nervous for the game at the same time. I just don't want them to go crazy, because I love the direction they've been going. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, and I get it, and and I know it comes from a good place, and that, just like you just said, is because you love the direction that's been going all this time that you've been playing, and just you want to keep it that way.
Keep right. And then turn right.
But I got faith in them. I think they're gonna just help it blossom even much more, and I think with having games come out like that Australia trucking game and stuff like that, I think they're just trying to cover all their bases and offer that much more of a product, especially as they're still working on all the DLC maps and things like that. Give people a little extra something that they can do while waiting for, you know, the entire United States to get finished up for them.
And then exit.
Right. Definitely, that makes sense.
Exit right. Keep right.
Have you done a Reaper series yet?
No, we used to haul reefers and stuff, you know, when I would just have the truck and I would just take whatever jobs I did reefers, but we could technically do it with the grain hopper, like if you wanted to, absolutely, you know what I mean? With the grain hopper you could get away with it, just like if you want to do like pelleted food, stuff like that, you could do some stuff like that with the grain hopper. but I do want to add a reefer. That was another thing I was gonna add into the series, along with the tanker, is the reefer, because you know I do love the series we have going now, and like I was saying, I want to continue to keep building on it. But I feel like the more diversity we have, the better. You know what I mean? And the sooner we start on those series, the better too. I just kind of stuck with like the favorites of mine first, and then add the others as well. And also the title too matters too, so also giving me time to think about how I'm gonna title those series as well. Because if I can, I do like to have them have a little ring to them.
Hey, that for sure makes sense, man.
I do think I'm gonna have to put the 389 and 379 in their own category. You know, I can put those two together, but they're not cabovers on calls, so whenever we're doing record with that, we'll have to get another series. But that just adds to it, you know. Just another playlist we can add to the channel. And I love that because I'm huge on playlists, y'all. Like when I go to a YouTube channel and stuff, if I find a particular channel that I like, especially particular content that they upload and it's a variety, I like to be able to go to that playlist and find that whole list of videos, and I'm like, yep, click it, play all, just keep it on shuffle. And so I like to just incorporate that, and that's, you see that as well on the channel with my ambient stuff, just because I love to sleep with a good thunderstorm, y'all. Put on those 12-hour thunderstorm sounds, black screen. My latest one has been the tin roof. Man, I can't get enough of those.
Amen to that, brother.
And then turn left. Turn left.
good. I'm just getting a clip. Trying to, at least. Good to see you again, DJ.
I'm gonna have to meet up with you and show you this trailer. Maybe you've seen it, but I think it's kind of awesome.
For the tanker or the reefer?
Reefer.
I think I know exactly the one you're talking about. Hey!
Try me.
Sorry, I was just rammed very rudely by this Tundra here. Uh-oh.
That sucks.
Could have swore we were clear, but I may have not been paying full attention.
Been in there.
Nice, DJ. Bet you're getting to relax. I'm so glad I was in third person for that show. Brother, you gotta check the stream out. I'm so glad I was in third person for that. You can't make this up.
I'm watching. Oh wow, what in the world? What made it fly out the roof?
I have no idea. That is wild, man.
That's crazy, dude. Caused any damage?
Yep. Now we got double engine light on. I've never seen that before. We got double something. Maybe not double engine, but something. Two red icons.
And then you got that big old cross in the windshield.
That's all right though. Had to give us a good little bop on the final run before I go eat. They couldn't let the 500 subscriber count stream be dull, you know what I mean? It was going too smooth, easy. Cause I've been chilling, man. I've barely been hitting the speed limit on most of these, on the interstate at least. And then I was just pulling out and then boom. I don't know. I don't know if that truck just spawned in, which I have seen happen with you myself. The other day it was funny, man. We were on a small little road going through town, just the middle of town, and this semi spawned in facing me, but with a trailer. But it couldn't do that quick spin around because there were cars on each side of the road, so it got stuck right there.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, I
trip.
hate when they randomly spawn. That causes all sorts of issues.
Just stay safe out there because there are now jumping trucks. So.
Turn right.
Playing a game of Leap Truck out here.
Right.
I think that one's a first for me, man, honestly. Doesn't happen before.
I've never seen one quite like that before.
Go straight up. That's right.
Thank you all so much for all the likes. I really do appreciate you all. We just gotta try to wiggle our way over there, y'all. No, car, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why would you do that? Oh. So close. I guess when we took damage, all it did something to our fuel. There she goes. Okay, we're not out of fuel. She's just struggling. I thought I ran out of diesel for a second because my truck shut off, but that's just because that truck decided to leapfrog at us. But I was coasting, man. I just let it crawl around. But then some car pulled out when we were turning. Stopped our momentum. Oh yeah. But I knew we weren't low on diesel yet because my fuel light hadn't turned on, so I didn't know. I was like, maybe after the, you know, crash if it messed it up or something as far as the fuel, but it was just the truck doing that shut off thing it does when you're in need of repairs.
Right, that would have been, what, 3 days in a row you ran out again?
Well, small roads will do that to you. You know that. Sometimes those gas stations just get a little stretched apart. And for some reason, like I was saying, man, it seems like, I know with this one, our tank is lower. So I definitely got to get used to that. But yeah, not stopping at that gas station and then you get that check, you know, that low fuel gauge comes on. It's like, oh boy. Because sometimes you can pretty much tell, you know, depending on where you're at, if you're gonna come across a gas station or not again. Mexico's really tricky with that. You gotta make sure you stop and fill up, because you can definitely find yourself on the side of a mountain with no gas, no go-go juice.
Get ready to turn left.
Yeah, that's no good.
Turn left. It's all over you.
Well, I guess it's just not giving it to us on this one, yo. That's okay. Blue Ridge Parkway. Good spot to run it, I guess. Gotcha. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go eat, and then I will be back up later tonight. I will let y'all know in the Discord. Thank you all so much for helping us hit 500 subscribers. I am on the moon about that, y'all. Also a big reason why I want to do another late night live stream with y'all. But easy if you're still on here, probably in like an hour or so, depending if my girlfriend's already watched that show or not without me, then I will let y'all know. But thank you all for being you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night if I don't see y'all later on. And I will catch y'all in a little bit.